Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special New Year's Eve edition of NASCAR 06 Total Team Control on the channel. And here on this late Saturday night, we are going to go Truck Series racing at the California Speedway for race number 17 of 25 on the season. We are down to just the final 9 races of the year, and our driver Ricky Craven comes in second in the point standings. He is just 10 points out of first behind Chase Montgomery, who's just coming in off his second win of the season. And this is going to be interesting to say the least, because Ricky Craven has trimmed that lead down quite a bit over the last couple races after leading in points just 3 races ago. But we'll see if he can have another good performance today at California. Starting in the 6th place position, this is a track that I don't usually perform too well at in NASCAR 06 specifically. In NASCAR 05 and then NASCAR Thunder 2004, I wasn't terrible at California, but for whatever reason, NASCAR 06, this track, it's a bit slicker than those other EA games that we have played on the channel. So we'll see how this is going to go. Probably only going to have to pit once in today's race if I had to imagine. So definitely a sprint race for that reason. 200 miles, 100 laps around this 2-mile oval. Let's get this thing underway. Thanks for everybody. Have a good, safe weekend if you're out and about. And let's finish the last stream of 2022 up on the channel right here, right now. Green flag is in the air. It will be Chase Montgomery on the pole for this one as he'll lead the field to the green. Craven quickly pulling to the bottom. He wants to get to that inside as quickly as he could. No practice for today's race, just qualifying, and Craven already goes up the track. He clipped the apron as he was getting up to speed. And now he finds himself 3 wide middle on the back straightaway, which is not going to be fun going down into turn 3. He's going to back out of it. He's playing very, very patient, maybe a little too patient in the early going of this race, trying to feel the truck out a little bit. So he side drafts to 109 now in the middle of the corner. And it looks like Bill Lester going to lead lap 1. He is 6th in points coming into today's race. And Craven already drops back 7 spots. Starting on the outside did not help, but wasn't great. His truck is a little tight in the dirty air right now, not going to lie. And this is a very treacherous and fast racetrack on this game. Patrick Shadley, Kenneth Clark, Joshua Rumsey, Billy Kramer, Michael Turner, and others welcome into the stream. Definitely being patient, even though it's not a very long race. Harvick has passed 2 trucks now on lap 2 to move up to 11th off the exit of turn 4. And he's got to run on the truck in front of him as he'll get underneath him in the tri-oval. To stay pinned to the bottom. Clips the apron just a bit, washes up the track, side drafts the 178. He did lift a little bit, so that's going to allow the 178 to clear. Craven throws a block in the back straightaway on the outside. Now he'll protect the bottom into turn 3. Drove it in a little deeper that time. Maybe trying to get to the inside of the 178. He couldn't do it. He's going to move up the track a little bit and open up the bottom. John Hamilton can't quite get underneath him, though. And now a big block by the 178 from Ricky Craven. Craven going to bump draft the truck in front of him. Trying to help the 178 out a little bit. It's like, alright, if you're going to block me, I'll just push you around the next truck. A lot of speed going into turn 1 because of it for Craven. He'll stay on the inside of the 123, though, off the exit of turn 2. Clean racing, at least, so far. Hey, I heard the Fox booth is open for the Truck Series. They should be calling me any moment. No, I don't think I'm qualified for that position quite yet. I would love to do it, but not logical to put me up there with a lot of inexperience right now. Caution's out for the first time today off turn 4. Saw a crash in the middle of the corner. One truck goes around. Everybody looked to have missed him to the inside. It looks like one truck might have piled in off the exit of turn 4. We're under caution for the first time in the race. Pretty decent sized lick into the outside walls. One truck got a bit loose right off the exit of the corner. And gonna stay out of the pits here, maintain track position as we're just a few laps in with this first yellow. Sorry if there was a lag there for a second. I got disconnected from the chat. I was trying to reconnect myself. Hopefully it was under the caution so we didn't miss anything. And back to racing we go. Green flag back in the air, lap 8. Bill Lester, who has led the first 7 laps of the race, going to lead the field to the green. Craven didn't take off well in the restart. Has to kind of squeeze the 123 truck just a little bit to that outside lane. I meant to make an air pressure adjustment coming into the race from qualifying. I didn't. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't because the truck might be a little tighter because I was actually going to drop the air pressure, so I'm glad I didn't do that. Chase Montgomery to the lead on the restart as he gets by Bill Lester, who was kind of a sitting duck through turns 1 and 2. It's going to give the points leader 5 bonus points this time by to the start-finish line. A little bit of breathing room in front of the 99 at least. Didn't have to play too hard of defense through 1 and 2. Just that initial block on the front stretch as he was going from second to third gear. Did lose time still from the trucks in front of him, which is going to hurt because he's not quite in drafting range behind the 8th place truck. Into turns 1 and 2. The top 7, it appears, under a blanket. And Montgomery trying to pull away after starting on the pole, finally leads his first lap. I mean, yeah, you never know, but I mean, just considering my age alone, with how young I am, like, there's no major criteria. I do think just being able to commentate, like, I could do that. It's the other things outside of that. Just with never working on TV before, or being around that. I mean, then again, if Rick Allen can do it. He never worked in TV up until he started calling truck races for Speed Channel. Just kind of got thrown to the wolves. I've heard interviews of him talking about it before, that he had only ever worked in radio, and he never called any sort of, like, auto racing before that either. Called, like, I forget what college he called sporting events for, but it was basically like track and field, and then something else that he was commentating at the time, but he never commentated auto racing up to that point. Which you can kind of tell by his commentary that it's very stick and ball referenced, I feel like, which is, I mean, of all motorsports, NASCAR would be the sport where you kind of want a commentator like that, just because you're generally going to have, you know, fans from other sports that would watch it aren't necessarily auto racing. Like, most of the fans that watch on a weekly basis are auto racing fans, but you're going to have, you know, some bleed over, like, for Fox after the NFL's done. You're going to have a lot of guys, a lot of people in general that would watch football, don't typically watch NASCAR, and they're watching NASCAR until football starts back up again. I think you see that a lot with TV ratings, too, how they taper off at the end of the year versus at the start of the year. I think a lot of people are just generally more into football, but when there's no football on, they'll watch NASCAR. I mean, I know people that, you know, they'll say something about, like, oh, yeah, you know, I watch NASCAR when, you know, football's not on during the summer or something like that, you know, but they don't, you know, pay attention to the, you know, the actual championship race or anything. They just kind of watch the race for what it is. Kevin Masunik, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I said your last name correctly. Big dive to the bottom as Craven got squeezed in turns 1 and 2, trying to finally get around that truck he restarted behind about 6 laps after the restart. He's all clear off turn 2. Got him in one corner. Ice Demon King 92 Hammer also welcome into the stream. Bobby Hamilton, next driver for position, just up ahead. Chase Montgomery's pulling away from second on back right now. Bobby Hamilton looking to the inside of the 6 of Ryan Hornaday. Has a run. Craven going to go all the way down to the apron into the tri-oval as he tries to get underneath the 04 of Hamilton. Just ran his fastest lap of the race of a 39.1 flat. Hamilton on the inside of Hornaday into turns 1 and 2. Nope, not quite. Hornaday slides down the middle of the corner. Craven getting a little tight in the center of the corner. So is the 04 of Hamilton. Not good with the 18 truck leading here in the early going. Hamilton blocking to the bottom on the back straightaway on Craven again. Craven can't find a way around him. Looking at the inside in turns 3 and 4. Craven's there. Is he able to stick the left side tires on the apron at least now into the run? He's not going to be able to do that much later into this race. But he is for the moment, and he has cleared Bobby Hamilton, drafting off the back of Hornaday on the front stretch on the inside lane into the tri-oval. Down into turns 1 and 2. Craven slipped up the track, got tight again. Luckily, when he slid up, he was right in front of the 04. So never made contact with anybody. Just not something you want to do mid-corner, especially at these high-rated speeds. 190 miles an hour even in the truck series entering the corner in the draft. The now named Auto Club Speedway. Down to the bottom, and another pass through 3 and 4. It seems to be the corner where Craven's passing the most trucks as he blocks Hornaday to the outside. Now a run in the draft behind Deborah Renshaw, who's coming in off a top 5 run in her last race. Craven can't get to the inside. He got tight trying to get his truck to turn, and Hornaday's going to get back around him. Hornaday trying to get to the inside of the 08. Craven to the top. A block from the 6. To the bottom, another block by the 6. The 8 simultaneously blocking Hornaday into turn 3 as well. And Bill Lester, after leading the first 7 laps, has fallen back to 4th after the restart. Hornaday has a run on Renshaw. Craven with a run on Hornaday, but not as big as the 6 had on the 8 there. Side by side into turns 1 and 2. Yeah, this is going to be a fun race. Auto Club is a fun track on this game. It's a challenge on the long runs. The tires really like to wear out quite a bit here. Pass on Renshaw made by both Hornaday and Craven that last lap. Craven up to 6. Right back to where he started this race. Took 18 laps to get back to 6th. A double file start on the beginning kind of got us. We were 3 wide middle off turn 2, and I got out of the gas and lost about 4 spots. Was not wanting to risk anything. Racing very smart with the championship on the line and with just limited amount of races left while still in a points deficit. It's only 10 points. But when you consider the fact that the championship points leader is leading the race right now, has already received 5 bonus points, has led the most laps in the early going, and it not being a long race, he's going to have a good shot to try to get 10 bonus points total. Craven had probably his deepest dive all race long to the inside in 3 and 4 as he went down to the apron with all 4 tires. Now he side drafts the 6 of Hornaday in the tri-oval, desperately trying to stay alongside of him and can't do it. I think Hornaday might have gotten a little bit of a pole in the draft behind Bill Lester on the front stretch, which helped him stay in front of Craven there, and Craven's going to have to try it again. Potentially side by side for 2nd on the back straightaway. Looked like Montgomery's pulling away initially, but not the case anymore, considering that 2nd through 4th is still right behind him. And even Hornaday and Craven within a 2nd of the race lead as well. Big run by Craven into 1 and 2, trying to get to the inside of Hornaday. He just doesn't have enough racetrack to get underneath him. Hornaday's hitting his marks right now, and he's just fast enough. Lester pulling out of line on the back straightaway. One car went a little lower on the back stretch at 2nd, so he got a bit more of a draft off of him. Craven with a really deep dive into turns 3 and 4. He's being extra aggressive with the slide job maneuver, and he is going to clear Ryan Hornaday for 5th. What a pass by Craven as he got it to grip up. He was committed. He had a run, went for it, just ran his fastest lap of a 30.007. Lester still trying to make a pass for 3rd. Can't do it. And Craven's got a big run behind Lester into turns 1 and 2 in the draft. Now the 178 gets a little tight. He started back around Craven. I think he started in 9th. He's moved up through the field. Craven trying to get a little extra draft behind Lester into turn 3. It's going to be a sharp angle going into the corner. Has to use a little bit of brake. Hasn't really been using much brake in the race. Lester on the inside of Hattori, who is 3rd in points and running in the top 3, but not anymore. A shortcut on the front stretch that time in the back end of the draft for Craven. New leader into turn 1, the 178 truck. of Jackson, who was 10th in points coming in, still winless, is out in front. Lester up to second. Points leader Hamilton, Montgomery rather, is now back to third. Hattori going to try to look for a pass on Chase Montgomery as well into turns 3 and 4. Not going to get there. Lester gets tight. He goes up the hill. Bottlenecking a little bit off turn 4 as the 3rd through 5th place trucks. Craven to the outside of Hattori. Side drafts him a little bit. Has a run behind the 18 truck of Chase Montgomery. So on the outside is Ricky Craven. And he can't hold it. That was the first time he tried to enter on the outside in a corner today. And his truck was even tighter. It didn't help the 18 was in front of him. Got one truck on pit road right now. Might have blown an engine during these green flag conditions. I don't think it was anybody who was involved in that last accident. That early caution. Just a few laps in. Craven again, looking low. Hattori with a terrible block off turn 4. Making contact with Ricky Craven that time. Craven got really loose off turn 4 after the contact. It's going to burn those rear tires up when you get that loose, too. Craven did not appreciate that. Not a good block from Hattori. He was not clear. Didn't lose too much ground, though. Brainer Martinez welcome into the stream also. And a dive by the 99 of Craven down to the apron on entry into 3 and 4. Easily got to clear the 9 off the exit of the corner for 4th. And back in line to try to get the draft off Montgomery. Billy Carjoy welcome into the stream also. And Happy New Year to everybody. We're not quite there yet, but just a couple hours away. Good race so far through 26 laps out of 100. Bottom got left open there by Montgomery. Lester goes tight up the track as well. Craven on the apron all the way through 3 and 4 that time. Not just entering the corner. He has a run. Tried to side draft initially on the 22. Fastest lap by Craven of a 39.005. But the draft on the outside is going to be too strong. Craven's still going to be on the inside of the 18 truck of Chase Montgomery. He'll clear him for 3rd off turn 2. So he has passed the points leader, but Craven hasn't gotten any laps led yet for bonus points versus Montgomery has. Up to 3rd place now is Ricky Craven. And race which should be one stopper, especially with that early caution. That's going to help it be a one stopper if it wasn't already one. Craven underneath Lester off of turn 4, side by side. X370X, thanks for tuning in also. Craven trying to back up the middle of the corner a little bit more. Can't quite get underneath the 22. Top 3 start to pull away just a little bit. Is Lester going to give it enough of a push potentially from Craven? Craven on the bottom, backs up the middle of the corner through 3 and 4 this time, and he's side by side for 2nd again. But if he can't get the draft off the 178, it's going to be tough to get around Lester. Lester's got the advantage on the outside. There's a little bit of contact. I think they went to both side draft each other at the same time. They kind of ran into each other there. Like the 99 moved up as the 22 came down. Either way, Craven's going to be up to 2nd. Lester didn't lose too much momentum, but enough to at least lose the position. Lucky nothing big happened there. And now Ricky Craven can challenge for the lead. And he's got a big run on the 178 truck off the Exeter turn 4, side by side for the race lead. Craven not going to lead this time by at the line as he's trying to get some bonus points. Craven clipped the apron a little bit in 1 and 2. He's going to go up the hill quite a bit. He's going to keep it off the wall barely. 178 went a bit wide as well, so Craven going to be able to keep up with him. .178 going wide again. Should be about anywhere between 2 to 4 laps to the good on fuel to make it with one stop today. We'll take our first field pass of the race. We'll go back to Todd Kluver in the 50 truck for the first time. He is in 11th right now, barely holding on with 2 trucks side by side behind him. One of them, Brandon Witt. It's like the 64 truck is the other. Big dive into turn 1 by Kluver. That's not really going to work too much as he slides up the track. Might have somebody underneath him off turn 2. Big block by the 50 on the back straightaway. He's clear with it, though. It's a clean block. About 6 seconds off the lead from that 178 truck of Jackson, who is out in front. Harold Jackson trying to get his first win of the Truck Series season. We've had 4 Truck Series drivers that are fantasy drivers that have actually won this year. The most recent was Marvin Sheff back at Darlington. He won that race. John Hamilton has a win early in the year, as well as Wilson Eubanks and George Teague. Those 2 were the winners of the first 2 races of the year. Back at Daytona in Michigan. Kluver's catching up, trying to get into the top 10. Hasn't had many top 10 finishes this year. Craven fell back just a little bit as Lester got around him for second. Craven still in front of the 99. He is in the 99, still in front of the 18. Chase Montgomery. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, thanks for tuning in. No, this is California Speedway Auto Club. Only made through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Craven hasn't led yet. 34 laps in, started 6th. He's running 3rd. Has been as high as 2nd. Have to try to get back around Bill Lester. Pretty good corner through 1 and 2 that time. It's definitely a little bit better in 3 and 4, it appears. Pretty decent sized run. Trying to really widen his arc off into turns 3 and 4 as he is looking to make the pass down on the bottom of the racetrack. And clear off turn 4 as he shuts the door on Bill Lester. And now trying to block on the front stretch all the way around the front stretch, top, bottom, as they snake back and forth. Pretty good blocking that time by Craven to hold on to P2, and he's got a run on the 178 truck, trying to look to the inside off turn 2, and they're door-to-door for the lead on the back straightaway. He got there. Now he's got ducked back in line behind him. He couldn't keep the momentum up. Craven really good at this end of the racetrack, though. Hooked to that white line into the corner, slides up. Still side by side for the lead off turn 4. Who will lead this lap at the line? It's going to be Jackson by inches. Craven desperately wants to get a lap led in. We got a truck blowing up on the back straightaway down on the apron. And it looks to be Brandon Witt, the 38 truck, who was in 12th the last we saw moments ago when we were racing his Kluver. Good little battle for the race lead going on, though. About a third of the way into the race, door to door. A little bit of contact that time, and that's going to allow the 99 to lead at the line and clear. 5 bonus points for Ricky Craven. He tried to side draft him. He accidentally got into him a little bit, and now Craven leads into 1 and 2. Lester going for second with the loss of momentum by both the leaders. After the contact, Craven holds on. And now playing defense for the first time today as he blocks Bill Lester all the way down the back straightaway. We've got a race. He's got to hope not to get aero loose. That's the big thing right now. Especially as the tires get older and older and older. Lester potentially trying to go to the outside, looking for the race lead. Big dive into 1 and 2, maybe 2 deep. Contact up the track they go, and into the wall. And the 178 is going to be back in the lead of Harold Jackson after contact between Ricky Craven and Bill Lester. It all started when Craven just flat out blew the corner. Drove it in way too deep with all 4 tires there. Costly mistake, and Lester's all the way back to 5th. The race leader back to 3rd. Craven. It's a 2-truck breakaway. That was on me. I just flatlined it going into the corner and just drifted right up into him. I probably had my right rear on his left front. We both went into the wall. Luckily, it wasn't too hard of contact, at least for Craven. I think Lester got the worst end of it. We do stay green, though. Still just the 1 caution in the early going of the race so far. Derek Booth, welcome into the stream. We'll go back to the far chase cam for now. Earl Arnold Jr., thanks for tuning in. No problem, Earl. Definitely a good chance we're going to end up having more, too, when we get back to the live race commentary streams this year. I do want to have more for those streams, especially because at the end of the year, we were getting quite a few views. We were getting into some of the playoff races. We were having about 1,000 people in the chat at once. And I think I only had like 7 or 8 mods, so it was pretty hard to keep track of. About a 1.8 second difference right now between 1st and 3rd. The bad news is for Craven, he doesn't have any drafting help. That's the worst thing right now with losing the leaders. It's going to be really tough to try to get back up there without a caution. I mean, we still have pit stops. He can have a good pit road entry and try to make up a little bit more time that way. I don't think it'll be impossible for him. Definitely going to want to take this run as far as we possibly can first, though. We'll take our second and final field pass of the day. We'll go back to Kluver, who is in 10th. Yeah, that was part of why the stream got delayed, because the Michigan game went a little bit long. Ended up going about 4 hours. It was a great game. Man, that stings. It stings. 2 years in a row, we got knocked out in the playoffs. Sad part is we beat Ohio State this year, and they still might win the national championship. Crazy how that works out. Only as a Michigan fan something like that would happen. I should be used to heartbreak. I still got my Packers tomorrow, but the problem is Michigan in college football better than the Packers have been in the NFL this year, so not saying much. And we play the Vikings. Kluver trying to get a few spots here. He's up to 9th as he gets by a Hornaday. I think this is Lester right in front of him. He's lost a lot of time after getting into the wall. If it is him. It might not be him. Tough to tell for sure. Kluver on the inside, and it... Can't tell. No, it is Lester. Wow, yeah, Bobby Hamilton got around him, as well as Kluver now. Side by side for 6 as they get to the line. Go back to Ricky Craven for the rest of tonight's race. He's under pressure. He's got Shigeki Hattori not that far behind him. 2.2 seconds off the lead. Ever since Craven lost the lead there, he is starting to fall back. He was able to get a few laps led, so he does have 5 bonus points. Problem is Montgomery's in 2nd. And he's the points leader. Both Montgomery and Craven have 5 bonus points in this race so far. I think Montgomery still led the most, but not by much over the current race leader of Jackson. And it's for the Padre in the championship. Yeah, we didn't have we didn't have enough for those. We have almost too many for these streams at times, but we have not enough on the other side. There isn't enough of a balance between the number count of how many people watch these streams versus, you know, the real race streams. Craven's going to give up this spot to Hattori. The hopes is that he can draft in line behind him, and maybe these two could start to catch up to the leaders. They're 2.5 seconds back right now. They just cannot keep up with Montgomery and Jackson on the long run. Getting close to pit stops as we're almost halfway home. It was potentially a fuel mileage race today, but that caution coming out early in the race pretty much only needed one yellow to confirm it was going to be a one-stopper, and it will be the case. Even down on the bottom. It was open for him to make the pass there. He's quicker than Hattori, but he's not as quick as the top two. They're gaining ground on the straightaways, which is where they need to gain ground because of how long they are with this being a 2-mile oval, and that's the drafting help because the 18 and the 178 are not close enough to each other to be able to draft. So that's where it's making an effect here, making some sort of a difference. Especially in the truck series here in California. Pretty good drafting help. Yeah, there's been a lot of good bowl games over the last couple days. I haven't really watched any of them, but I've seen like highlights and scores of some of them. There's a game that went to triple overtime a day or two ago. Raven bump drafting Hattori off turn 4 that time. That was a little dangerous. Could have knocked him into the wall. It didn't, though. Lap 50. What do I feel about Charlotte winning last? Oh, Charlotte Flair. I was like, Charlotte. What team? Yeah, I did actually watch SmackDown last night. I watched the whole show. That was the first time I think I've watched either a full SmackDown or full Raw in a while, outside of like events I've gone to. Which they go to Detroit in a couple weeks for SmackDown. I want to go. I think it's the Friday before the Rumble. It might be 2 weeks before. It might be the Friday, second to last Friday night SmackDown before the Rumble. So not quite the go-home show. Ooh, contact! Accidental. Craven wasn't really trying to get to the inside of the 9. He had such a big run off the exit of turn 4, got into his left rear, and almost costed Ricky Craven. It did cost them both a little bit of time, but luckily Craven didn't spin. He's taking care of his tires too well during the course of this run. I was shocked that she came back last night. I try not to look at the rumors too much leading into the shows. We got some trucks pitting off turn 4. Craven going to go with them, so he's going to have drafting help. He gets around Hattori, gets down to pit road speed. What a pit road entry by Ricky Craven. It'll be 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments, and the Mr. Clean crew will go to work. Wow. Needs to be a clean, fast stop here for the Mr. Clean crew. Tom's Banana Cakes, thanks for tuning in. Favorite Daytona 500 so far? If you're asking me about like the Throwback Thursday streams, it's gonna be, oh man, that's costly. That was a good pit stop, but the 30 was pulling into his box as the 99 was pulling out. He had to check up. Craven hoping he can get back to speed a little bit quicker. Cold tires coming out of the pits there, but I don't know. He made up sometime. But not as much as he would have hoped for. Gotta hope that with the 178 staying out of the pits as long as he has, it's gonna affect him. Lap time wise compared to Craven and Montgomery, there was Lester coming out of the pits. Craven back in the top 10. Really need this to stay green at least till everybody pits. Hey, I thought SmackDown was pretty good last night. I kind of wish the tag team... I thought the tag team match was a little lackluster at the end. Thought it could have been a little bit better. I think it just needed to be a little bit longer. I don't think they started the match until like 15 minutes for the end of the show. And Cena only really was involved in the match for about the last like minute and a half of it. That kind of stunk. But, I kind of figured it was going to be a big show knowing that Cena was going to be there, that maybe they were going to try to treat it more like a pay-per-view. And it kind of felt like a pay-per-view atmosphere, especially at the start. The crowd was really into it, too. His first couple matches. I think they knew that they were probably going to have a ratings boost for the weekend anyway, so they decided to throw everything they could into the show. 178 truck trying to get up to speed right now in the back straightaway. I think he's going to be even further out ahead than what he was. Wow, he is way ahead. And it's not even close. Clover just coming in. He was able to get some bonus points for leading laps during the green flag pit stops. We're down to just 44 laps to go. If we stay green to the end of the race, it's going to be very tough to get the win. I think we could potentially catch Chase Montgomery. It's going to be close, but I don't think anybody's going to have anything for the 178. I mean, he's got to be close to a 5-6 second lead. The 99 definitely gained time, especially coming into the pits, because he closed in on the 18 of Montgomery just a little bit. And he was also able to outbrake Hattori, and he beat him out of the pits by a while. It's about a 4.3 second lead. Craven overruns 1 and 2 just a little bit. That's not going to help. So he's up to third. Going back to that Daytona 500 question, by the way, I'm not sure. 2010 was a lot of fun to watch. From start to finish in the race, I would have said 2007 was the best going up to that point. That was a pretty good finish. Setting, you know, the heartbreak of being a Biffle fan aside, I don't know. I don't know which one I pick, honestly. It's definitely a toss-up between 2007 and 2010. I don't think I have a clear answer right now. I'd almost argue that the only thing that stunk about 2010 is the fact, well, both races had a lot of cautions in the last 10 laps. But there was more in 2010 because they ended up going through like 3 green-white checkers, so 2 overtimes and then 1 initial green-white checker in regulation too. The only thing that stunk about that race. Craven and Montgomery picking up a little bit of time. It's now just about a 3.9 second difference. Between first and second. Craven not quite close enough yet to try to get some drafting help behind Montgomery. All 4 tires down to the apron that time for Craven, taking a deep dive. He's really going for it. He's got a lot to lose, but he knows that the tires are gripping up well early in the run on the apron, so he's willing to take the advantage. Only in 3 and 4, though. 1 and 2 kind of just shoves you up the track a little bit. At least it doesn't want to spin you out, but it doesn't grip. Yeah, the red flags for the potholes dampened it. I mean, we were able to skip through the red flags, which made it a little bit better. But if I had to go back and like watch the races live, I'd probably rather watch 2007 live. But I think the racing was better in 2010, but the race was probably a lot smoother in 2007, which enhanced it. So I will give. I mean, I have to give them both the nod for that reason, but because we were doing a watch-along, I almost feel like we have to get rid of the pothole cautions. Because we didn't sit through it all. So, like, live when it happened, 2007, I think would have been better to watch from start to finish. Alright, so this is an interesting situation right now. Ricky Craven has closed in on Chase Montgomery. These two are going to be able to draft. Now, we still have about 37 laps to go at the line. Craven and Montgomery are about 3.1 seconds off the race lead. Can they close? It's going to be interesting. Craven a little tight, though, in the middle of the corner now that he's caught up to Montgomery. 3 seconds is a lot of ground. I don't know that these two are that fast. They both have 5 bonus points. They're racing for a championship against each other, but they have to work together if any of them are going to want a shot at the win. Craven to the inside of Montgomery, side by side for position, 2.9 seconds off the lead. The problem is, side by side's not going to work. Just got to slow each other up a little bit. Montgomery going to hold clear as he had a good run off turn 4. Craven's just too tight in the dirty air when he gets behind him. He was closing in. Kurt Terry Bush, thanks for tuning in. That name. Craven all over the back of Chase Montgomery. It could get dicey running as close together as they are. But the closer together they are, the better the draft effect is going to be. So we'll have to just wait and see. Craven was 4.2 seconds off the race lead initially, and it's down to 2.6 at the line. Usually this late in the season, you don't see championship foes working together like this. But they're willing to take the gamble that one or the other isn't going to win this race to try to work together. It's a 5-point difference in position between second and third, but it's a 10-point difference between first and second. The good news is they don't have to worry about either one of them leading the most laps. Harold Jackson's pretty much about got that locked up. And they both led 1 lap already, so they're already at 5 bonus points each. It's a 2.3 second lead. Will they get there? Still 33 to go. And will they have the tires, though? Because, I mean, I feel like the tires are going to wear out on the 99 and the 18 quite a bit. Running as fast as they are, trying to catch up to the 178. He's able to save his tires a bit better, so he might be better for the long haul. And, of course, he had the probably best long-run truck in this race. That's probably the best truck overall. Craven will want to pass Montgomery eventually, just not yet. Definitely wants to at least get to within drafting range in front as he clipped the apron going into turn 1. So he'll push up the track a little bit again. 2 seconds off the lead. Dale Campbell, thanks for tuning in. Craven all over the back. Chase Montgomery bump drafting him on the front stretch. Backing well out before they get into turns 1 and 2. Both the 18 and the 99 stuck the inside all the way through turns 1 and 2. 1.7 off the lead. They're coming. I definitely think at the pace they're running now, as long as they don't get together, they will catch them. But remember, when Hattori and Craven were working together to try to get to Montgomery before the pit stops, they kind of got together and they lost a lot of time and could never get that momentum back again. So it's a dire situation here to just not make a major mistake. It's down to a 1.5 seconds, and we're still at 30 to go. It's not like Craven's running his fastest laps of the race. They're just running quicker because the 178 doesn't have any drafting help. We're setting up for a wild finish, ladies and gentlemen. You won't want to go anywhere. We're 30 laps away from the checkered flag. Craven backing up the corner a little bit more. Corner entry. As he gets closer and closer in line behind the 18. They're 1.3 seconds off the lead. They're really getting off turn 4 a lot better than they're getting off of turn 2, from what it seems. One second off the lead now. You're going to have 28 to go at the line. There's a lot more break over the last few corners. It's helping Craven get a good run off, which is keeping him a lot closer behind the 18 truck off the exit of the corners as well. I don't think I really have a New Year's resolution. I don't make New Year's resolution. I feel like putting off stuff till New Year's to make the resolution isn't right. It's like, that doesn't put me in the right mindset to get things done. Like, when I need to make a goal for myself, I do it, and I get to work right away on that goal. Because I feel like resolutions, sometimes you put it off a little bit too much, and you don't take it as seriously. So it's easier for me to take it maybe a bit more seriously. Gene Huddleston, thanks for tuning in. We'll bump draft again to Montgomery off turn 4. They are closing in on this 178 truck. Maybe getting a little tight. So did Montgomery as they closed in behind Jackson. They have definitely caught him. We've got a 3-truck battle for the win with about 27 laps to go. Oh, contact between Craven and Montgomery. Off of turn 4. We stay green. Both trucks still side by side for second. They're going to lose a little bit of ground at Harold Jackson again. And they might have to play catch up rather again as well. As they bump draft off the exit of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. 18 truck going a bit wide. Kind of blocking Craven in the middle of 3 and 4, though, in the center of the corner. And now definitely on the front stretch, he's trying to block him also. 25 laps to go at California. Who will win? Will it be Harold Jackson, Chase Montgomery, or Ricky Craven, or somebody else if we get a caution and restart? These guys are every bit of at least 6 to 8 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. All three of them going up the track through 1 and 2. Big block on the back straightaway. Jackson must have felt that Montgomery had a big run off turn 2. Going to go down trying to protect the bottom here. Into turns 3 and 4. Chase Montgomery going to try to go for the lead. Craven going to follow him. Trying to get to the inside, but can't do it. Chase Montgomery to the lead at California with 24 to go as they've caught and passed Harold Jackson. And Craven now clears Jackson into turns 1 and 2 as he's going for the lead on the 18. Up the track he goes. 18 slipping up a little bit. Here comes the 178. Couldn't get to the inside of Craven that time. Craven with a run on the front stretch. Getting blocked all the way to the apron. 192 miles an hour into turn 1. And may catch lap traffic for the end of this race as well. Craven trying to get to the inside. He's underneath him. Side by side for the race lead off turn 4. He got there, but now does he have the momentum? Quick side draft by both trucks in the tri-oval as Montgomery leads at the line again. If Montgomery leads every lap to the end of the race, maybe he could catch Jackson for the most laps led. Which could happen. Can't afford to lose points. Into turns 3 and 4. Craven a lot deeper into the corner this time. Down on the bottom of the track. All 4 tires on the apron. Holds it. Can't clear off the exit of the corner, though. Montgomery clears him at the start-finish line. It is Chase Montgomery and Ricky Craven going toe-to-toe. The 99 overdrives the corner. He's on the brakes trying to catch his truck a little bit there. Mark DeMars, welcome into the stream also. And down to the final 20. Off turn 4, another big block by Chase Montgomery as he is holding on for dear life with second and third right behind him. Fuel plenty good to the end of the race. Craven trying to widen his arc big time into 1 and 2. Again, down to the apron, but probably not the right area of the racetrack to do that. He didn't slip that time, and he'll stay door-to-door off turn 2. With the 178 going to go to the outside, which is going to help the 18. 99 up the block. Here comes Jackson to the inside. Trying to get by Craven into 3 and 4. May be able to do it. The 18 slips up the track a little bit. So does the 99. Side by side for the second place position. Craven clears the 178 of Jackson. He's got to run. He's underneath the 18 as they head for turn 1. Very tight entrance into the corner for Craven as Montgomery's not giving Craven a lot of room to try to make the corner. And Montgomery on the outside will hold on. Off the exit of turn 2, there's a bit of contact and they're side by side again. Craven to the lead into turn 3. Oh, big dive. And Montgomery moves the 99 back up the track again. Montgomery back to the lead. He nudged him out of the way. 18 to go as Chase Montgomery's getting extraordinarily aggressive now. Harold Jackson to the inside of Ricky Craven. They side draft their way into the corner. Up the middle. Not quite 3 wide for the lead. They got close though. Craven gets the turn in the center of the corner as he dives to the inside of Montgomery. Little loose off turn 4. Drafting help on the outside. They're both going to get around Craven, it appears, on the front stretch. Well, maybe not. Craven side drafts the 178. He holds side by side still. What a battle for the win here at California. Anybody's race between these 3. Craven has it. Jackson trying to get to the bottom, but he can't. Door to door, off of turn 4. Clear, and Ricky Craven leads at California with 16 to go. Finally back out in front. But now can he hold on? And now Jackson trying to look low. He gets to the inside of Ricky Craven. What a battle. Nobody giving an inch. Craven down to side draft. Jackson enters really deep into the corner, and he actually gets it to stick. Quite surprisingly. Craven got off turn 4 really well. He's in the draft now trying to get a run. What a race. Craven got to get it back in 1 and 2. Clear. Barely. Jackson tried to get to the inside. Craven hesitated with the block. Maybe could have cleared him, but didn't want to risk wrecking there. Slides in line in second off turn 4. Oh, big block on the 18. Might have knocked Montgomery into the wall. Chase Montgomery going to lose a lot of ground there. Truck blowing up on the apron. Off of turn 4, it's Bobby Hamilton. He'll be done for the race. Now the question is Ricky Craven close enough to the 178 to stay in the draft? I believe he is. 13 laps to get around him. Montgomery's not there, so it's going to be a little harder to try to get a run now. Into turns 1 and 2, side by side for the lead. Craven on the bottom. Clear, he got around him. Didn't take him long. 178 might have scraped the wall off turn 2. Got a bit tight when the 99 moved across his front bumper there. What a battle. Back and forth at California. Contact off turn 4. Got the 99 loose, 12 to go. Jackson back in the lead again. Craven can feel his truck starting to get a little bit looser. These guys mess around too long. Chase Montgomery's going to have another shot at it. 11 to go. See, the lap times are definitely falling off. We're down to 39 flats earlier. Now it's about a 39.4. Remember, Jackson might have been giving up a lot of time at the beginning of this long run here to the end of this race. But in doing that, he might have been able to save his tires a bit more than Ricky Craven. Craven really good, though, through the middle of 3 and 4 again. Off turn 4, gets to the inside of Harold Jackson. Contact. And we got another battle again. 10 to go. Raven getting tight all the way through the corner. The dirty air, it's a little loose off the very exit of the corners, but tight in the center. It drives in fine. He's only tight in the center when he's right in line behind another truck, kind of like he was again there through 3 and 4 as he gets to the inside. Side draft. 9 laps to go. Into turns 1 and 2. Craven down to the apron. That was risky. He power slides, but he stays to the inside off turn 2. Oh, man, still can't make it. Jackson drove it in much deeper that time into the corner. Eight laps to go. A lot lower all the way through the corner was the 178 of Harold Jackson those last couple times. '99 really trying to arc it off. Left side's down to the apron through 3 and 4. He got it to stick a lot better that time. Gets to the inside. Just can't stay there. Just doesn't get the drive off compared to the truck on the outside, who's got a little bit extra progressive banking to get the run off the exit of the corner. We're down to 7 laps to go. And a battle for the win at the California Speedway. Craven off 4 to the apron, but it was more in the middle, not on the entry into the middle. Side drafts. Can't stay alongside. 6 to go. Quarter of a tank of fuel left, but again, plenty good on fuel to the end of the race. That's not going to be an issue for anybody. Craven with a run into turn 1. He's side by side on entry into the corner this time. Might have a chance at the lead. And he is clear as he shuts the door off turn 2. Five laps to go at the line, this time by. A little aero loose getting into 3 for Craven, but holds on to the lead. Five to go. It's 10 miles. Craven's just got to hope he doesn't get extremely aero loose. That's the big thing right now. Gonna go up the track in 1 and 2. That wasn't aero loose. He just overdrove the corner, and now Jackson back to the inside again off turn 2 as they're side by side for the lead. More side drafting going on. There's one lap truck up ahead. Not sure if they're gonna catch him or not. We'll have another lead change at the line. Four laps remain. Almost blocked into the wall on the front stretch that time. Craven trying to steer away from it at the last second. Didn't want to risk losing any momentum. On the apron through 1 and 2. It is risky to do that on that end of the track, but he is going for it all right now. Championship leader right behind him. Craven's looking to outscore him by 5, but he can take the points lead if he wins this race, based off of where Montgomery is running. Again, on the inside, through 3 and 4 for the lead. Side by side off the exit of turn 4. Craven leads at the line by inches, 3 to go. But will he stay on the inside by the time they make their way into 1 and 2? That will not be the case. But if that was the final lap coming to the checker, Craven would have won. Amazing how much he got side drafted on the front stretch that time. It allowed 178 to get by. I wouldn't doubt that he was drafting off the lap car up there as well, which really helped him get the pole he needed. Through 3 and 4, just into the inside. Lap truck on the top, though. That's going to help out Jackson again. 2 to go at the line. Jackson leads by inches. 117 moved to the bottom a little bit. That kind of stalled the 178 out a bit. Craven still on the inside into 1 and 2. Oh, Craven a little tight in the center of the corner with the lap truck there, but he's going to be clear by the time he moves up off the exit of turn 2. Craven back in the lead again. Nudges the wall himself on the back straightaway. Big block down to the bottom into 3 and 4. Trying to hold on. Gets to the inside of the lapper off the exit of turn 4. They'll be coming to the white flag. Final lap in the race. Lap truck might be holding Craven up just a little bit on the front stretch as they come for turn 1. Jackson with a run to the inside. Craven trying to block. Can he hold on to win, or will Jackson get by him for a last lap pass? Don't forget about Montgomery in third, about a half second off the lead. Craven in the middle of 1 and 2, doesn't get aero loose. Lap truck is cleared by both the top 2. Montgomery still has to get by, half a lap to go. They'll be coming to the checkered flag this time. Jackson going to try to make a dive bomb. The 99 of Ricky Craven's right there. He's going to get a little bit aero loose in the middle of the corner, but he's going to hold on off the exit of turn 4, coming to the checkered flag. Craven blocks. It's not going to be enough. To the line, Jackson to the inside. Half a truck length. Ricky Craven is going to win at California. Finishing off the new year with a bang. Or the old year, I guess, 2022 with a bang. And Ricky Craven is a winner for the 7th time this Truck Series season. Thriller at California. I didn't think anybody was going to catch him there when we first cycled out of the pits and we're 4.2 seconds off the lead, but then we caught him with about 25 to go and plenty of time. It was a 3-truck battle, which then quickly turned to a 2-truck battle. And Ricky Craven with the win in dramatic fashion will now take over the points lead with 8 races to go on the season. On this custom schedule season of its own right. Led just 7 of the 100 laps, but gets the win after starting 6th. And led, of course, the final 2 there coming to the checker. 1 caution for 3 caution laps, 15 lead changes, 84 one-thousandths of a second margin of victory. 169.47 miles per hour is the average race speed. And then 1 hour, 10 minutes, 48 seconds total time on tonight's race. Craven with the win. Jackson led the most, led 60, but finished second. Just got beat late. How many times have we been in that scenario? But this time we were on the other end of it where we didn't lead a lot of laps and got the win on the guy who did lead the most laps. It's weird being on this end of the spectrum when it comes to that kind of stuff. Chase Montgomery's going to end up finishing in 3rd. He led 23 laps today. Todd Kluver led a couple laps during green flag pit stops. Ended up finishing 4th. Good day for Roush Fenway Racing. And then Bill Lester rounds out the top 5 in 5th. He led 7 laps to start the race today after qualifying 3rd. George Teague ends up finishing at 6th. Brandon Witt 7th. I thought he blew an engine. It must have been a truck that looked like him. 1 lap led for Witt today during green flag stops as well. Wilson Eubanks ends up finishing 8th. Zach Van Dyke ends up finishing 9th. And then John Hamilton rounds out the top 10. So that is your top 10. And pretty much everybody on the lead lap, except for the 117 at the end. So 29 trucks finished on the lead lap. We had 6 DNFs. Marvin Chef, Bobby Hamilton, Eimelman, Parker, Cleveland, and Irving, all blue engines in today's race. 2-mile racetrack, very fast track. Hard on the engines, to say the least. So, new points leader. And it's going to be Ricky Craven. Heck of a battle. It was a clean race, too. That was a great, clean battle for the win. Chevy Silverado 150 at Phoenix will be the next race of the custom schedule season. As we go short track racing. And it's going to be a very narrow points lead. We went 10 points back into the race today, and I think we're going to have a 5-point lead. If I'm not mistaken. If we would have finished second, we would have been tied. Or sorry, we would have actually, if we would have finished second, we would have been 5 points behind Montgomery still. But because we got the win and Montgomery finished 3rd, which was good that we drafted with him there late, because that was the best case scenario that could have happened in the late going. All right. There we go. Bobby Hamilton blew a motor, so he fell back in points. He was a little less than 200 back coming in. Now he's over 300 back with 8 races to go. It's a 2-horse race for right now, but if somehow Montgomery and Craven were to have a DNF or a couple bad races, Hattori and Hornaday will be right there, as they're only 1 point apart from each other in third. So that's going to wrap this stream up. I'm not sure when the next Truck Series stream on NASCAR 06 will be, but tune in tomorrow. Our first stream of the 2023 calendar year will be at noon Eastern Standard Time. We'll be running the Southern 500 on NASCAR 06. It'll be the next race of our custom scheduled Cup Series season, and we are down to just 4 races to go. 4 races to crown either champion on, or sorry, 5 races to go to crown either champion on that season, and it is a very tight points battle with the top 4 going into those final 5 races on a full season points format. We took a week off from the Cup Series on NASCAR 06. We are back starting the new year with NASCAR 6 in the Cup Series, and we'll be doing 1 stream a week leading up to the Busch Light Clash. Will be the championship race week at Talladega. So 1 race a week on the Cup Series NASCAR 06 to wrap that up before the end of the NASCAR off season. So that's going to be a lot of fun over the next 5 weeks to see if we can win the title there, because I did not win the championship the first time we did the Cup Series season, so hopefully the second time we can take the cake. Thanks everybody for watching. Great race. Fun seeing you guys. Had a great 2022 calendar year on the channel. Obviously the biggest year in channel history. I think we're only going to go up from here. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers on the channel, and of course we are on the road to myself getting a commentary job in the sport of NASCAR one day. Of course, the overall and be-all, end-all goal. Even it wouldn't be the end-all, because I don't think it would ever end the channel if something like that ever happened. So this is going to be a fun ride into 2023. Have a good rest of your 2022 here over the next hour and a half. Have a good night. Stay safe for everybody who might be out and about. And I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon, back and better than ever for the Southern 500. See you guys.